Hello, Dalen. And by the time this beeper beeps, make sure you have all three things out that you need on the side of your desk. I don't see all three of those. There will be a deduction. Is it done? Put your name on. Make sure it's 5 a.m. on your top two.
Yeah.
I hope you all brought your teacher a birthday present. Why is there voices? Voices are off. When you finish your do now, make sure it's in the middle, your notebook is open, and you're writing down the title of today's chapter. Also, the I can statement. That's on both boards. You are the 5th grade one. You got 2.5 minutes. I'll start class early if I see everyone done with it. But don't rush, make sure it's in the middle of your desk. Put your name. This is the do now. This is the 6th grade. You want your 6th grade? Make sure. It's very good. Yes. Why did it say I'm using? Should be using the other camera. Oh, that's much better. Okay, cool. I don't know why Destiny didn't tell me I could do that with the computer. With Chastity, because she knows all about computers. 40 seconds. Where's your notebook? And where's your notebook? Okay, deduction for both of you. But it's not out. Everyone else has theirs out. Perfect. Chastity, thank you for being ready to go. Mariah, Marquise, thank you for being ready to go. Monte, Destiny, thank you for ready to go. William, thank you for being ready to go. And Niara, thank you for being ready to go. All right. Today's lesson 61, we're adding 3 or more fractions. Our I can statement for today is I can add 3 or more fractions. Say that with me. I can add 3 or more fractions. We spent a whole week talking about fractions last week. So this should be pretty easy, but now instead of just adding 2 of them, we're adding 3 or more. There's going to be 2 examples for today. We're going to skip this for right now. Skip this for right now. And go on to example 1. Marquise, read that for the class.
Add 1/2 plus 1/4 plus 1/8 and draw a diagram illustrating the addition.
All right, we're gonna skip the diagram thing. I never like it when they say draw a diagram. It's just difficult. I don't know why they make you do that. But first of all, what you would do here is you're gonna have to rewrite this whole problem. I'm gonna rewrite it. Make sure you get this in your notes because you need to know. We're gonna need to rewrite this with a common denominator. Now, you can't have a common denominator that does not work for one of the numbers. We have 2, 4, and 8. What would be a common denominator for those 3 numbers? It has to be for all 3 numbers. Mariah?
2.
2 would be a, no, hon, you gotta find a common multiple. So for instance, 2, 4, 6, 8. 4, 8, 12, 16. 8, 16, 24, 32. So you gotta find one down this row of the multiplication table. Destiny? Yes. Because 2 times 4 equals 8. 4 times 2 equals 8, and 8 times 1 equals 8. So their common denominator will be 8. Don't think of factors. Factors means you gotta spread it apart, dissect it. Multiples are, what is it? Just what you multiply. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 4, 8, 16, 18, nope, 20, 24, so on and so on. Now, what do you do with the numerator? Once you find a common denominator, what do you do with the numerator? London? No, you don't add them together. You can't do that. You just changed these 2 denominators to 8. That's like saying I gave you 1 piece of pie. All of a sudden I get another pie. Now what happens to the numerator? I just doubled the amount of pie. And if I said everyone gets one piece of pie, all of a sudden I double the amount of pies. How many pieces of pie should you get? So you get a piece of pie. All of a sudden, Grandma walks in, ready for the day. She loves all of you. Brings in a whole nother pie. And now your mom says, well, now you're going to get another piece. Same amount, just another piece. So what do you do with the numerator? Got two options, add or multiply. Destiny? Awesome. Marquise, what do you multiply by?
8.
No. Destiny for the win. Right. So you got to multiply 1 over here, 1 over here, and 1 over here by the number you multiply the denominator by to get to 8. So strong silent hand, what do you multiply 2 by to get to 8? Antoine. Strong silent hand, what do you multiply 4 by to get to 8? William. And then what do you multiply 8 by to get to 8? All right. Class, 4 times 1.
4.
Class, 1 times 2. Class, 1 times 1. Do you understand how we got those new numbers? That's the whole point of fractions. When you're adding them or subtracting them. So right now would be the time to ask. If you're going to nod and say you're okay, then on your exit ticket or homework, you're like, I don't know how to do any of this. I'm going to be quite upset. And I'm probably going to give you even more stuff because this is important. Now it's time to ask. Is everyone good? London, how did you get these numbers? What did you do to the numerator? By what? No. You multiply by what? How did you get the 4 to multiply the 1 by? This is what I mean. We just went through it. I've been talking about it. And someone doesn't know it. I'm assuming she's not the only one. What did you multiply the denominator by to get the numerator? William.
1.
What?
1.
1 what? No, I mean, how did you get the 4? How did you find the 2? How did you find the 1 to multiply by? What number? How do you figure that out? Where do you look? The fact that you guys don't get this means that you need to be more attentive in raising your hand asking questions. Because this is the entire assignment. And if you don't understand this, you're going to fail your exit ticket and fail your assignment. London, you should be looking over here and not outside. Now, where and how did you find multiply by 4, multiply by 2, multiply by 1? How did you find those numbers? Naraya.
The denominator?
Now, what about the denominator?
You did it on how 1 times 2 gets 8 and the offset 4, and what times 4 gets 8 and the offset 2, and what times 8 gets, what times 8 gets 8.
Thank you. Awesome. She is right. Yeah. You just, whatever it is, whatever it takes to get this 2, 2, and 8 through multiplication, you do to the top. Capiche? If you need to write that in your notes, do that. Because if you say, I don't know how to do any of it, if I come around and see you messing up on that part after I just gave this whole speech, That's not going to be good. So you got to remember to find the new numerator, you multiply the old numerator by what it took to get to 8. Capiche? This is a very big deal. Very big deal. Who just joined? Jamarion. Hi, Jamarion. Or not Jamarion. Jeremiah. Too many J's. What's with your class in J's? All right. Now, we can move on because now the denominator is the same. With a strong silent hand, what is 4 plus 2 plus 1? Jamarion.
7.
Do they have a common factor to reduce? No. So this would be your answer. You okay, Marcus? Any questions on that? Would anyone like me to explain again how to find the new numerators? Now would be the time because we're going to go on to the next example with mixed numbers and it's going to get a little bit more confusing. So if you need me to repeat how to find it, raise your hand now. Okay. All right. Okay. So they use these pictures. I don't really like them because they confuse me. If you like them, please check out your book. So we find least common denominator, LCM, least common multiple. Multiple means multiplication table. I say multiple, you say multiply. Multiple.
Multiply.
Multiple.
Multiply.
Multiple.
Multiply.
Multiple.
Multiply.
Multiple.
Multiply.
Because you're looking for the multiple. So don't think of factors. Think 2, 4, 6, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Multiples, not factors. You get 7/8. You can't simplify because it's not an improper fraction and it is in lowest terms. All right, now we're on to mixed numbers, adding 3 of them at a time. It's like a juggling act. You gotta know how to do this. So I don't want you to fail any of your homework. First of all, you rewrite them. I would do it as, you're gonna have to do it like this, on top of each other. Makes things easier for yourself. So rewrite it like that. Right off the bat, Kamante, what would be the whole number added to? My head got out of the way. 6. Now, we got to change each of these into a fraction with a common denominator. What would their least common multiple be for 2, 3, and 6? So you multiply down the line, this is what it would be. Jamarion?
Mhm.
Not 1, because the 1's not a multiple. Okay, so you were not listening in example 1. Antoine? Not 10, because 2 times 5 is 10, 3 times nothing equals 10, and 6 times nothing equals 10. Destiny? It is 6. Because 2 times 3 equals 6. 3 times 2 equals 6. But now we got to find the numerator. What did you multiply, class? What do you multiply 2 by to get to 6? Jamarion? Right, so you're gonna write 3 over 3. What do you multiply 3 by to get to 6? Jesse? Correct, you multiply it by 2, so that means you have to put 2 over 2. What do you multiply 6 by to get to 6? London. Right, so you're gonna put 1 over 1. Class, for the new numerators, what's 1 times 3? 1 times 3.
3,
Class, what's 1 times 2?
2,
Class, what's 1 times 1?
1.
All right, so now we have our new fractions. Miara, what do you do with your new fractions? Nope. Plus, which means? Right, you add them together. You know what the denominator will be, which is going to be 6. Who can add in their head silently, then raise their strong silent hand? What's 3 plus 2 plus 1? 3 plus 2 plus 1. Miara? Correct. It's going to be 6. Are we done? Miara, what do you do? Naraya. Sorry.
Since it's 6 over 6 and that and equal 1, so the answer's gonna be 7.
Correct. So 6 over 6 reduced to 1 because it is a whole number. And then, like Naraya said, 6 plus 1 equals 7. Because you just can't leave 6 left. So you're going to take plus 1. I'm sorry, I ran out of space. Equals 7. Please try and make it better than that. I ran out of room. The virtual people can see it. Awesome. Cool. Any questions how we got there? It's virtually the same thing. First, you add the whole numbers. Then you find the least common multiple. Let's try that again. Least common multiple.
Please come and multiply.
Nope. I say multiple. You say multiply. Least common multiple.
Multiply.
Least common multiple.
Multiply.
Then you multiply that top and bottom to the fraction, and you get your new fractions. Add them together, and this one happened to be 6 over 6, and you get 1. So your answer is 7. Let's see what the book has to say. Yep, we did just like the book did. So if you need help, definitely look back on chapter 2, example 2. It's a great place to look. You guys get out at 45. Ooh, lots of time. All right, so now would be the time for your exit ticket. Does anyone want to go through one more example before we get to your exit ticket? Because if you say you're good to go, you get your exit ticket. I'm expecting you to know how to do it. There's 3 places that get help. You can get from your math book, your notes, or the example up above. Because on every exit ticket has what to do on top. Jamara? How you get the numerator? Perfect. Thank you for asking. Let's do yeah, 1/5 plus 1/2 plus 1/10. All right. First thing you want to do is you got to find the least common multiple. So that means when you go down the line, I'm going to start with 2. You got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 5 would be 5, 10, 15, and stop at 20. And then 10 would be 10, 20, 30. So Naraya. So then you gotta find the least one, the smallest one. So really the first one, Naraya. What would be the least one out of all those numbers? Sorry, what?
Are you talking about the whole fraction or just the numerator? I mean,
The denominator. Not 2. Because 5 doesn't have a 2. It's got 5, 10, 15, 20. 10 doesn't have a 2. It's got 10, 20, 30. Marquise?
10?
Right. So they all have 10 in common. And it's the smallest. It's the least. So that means you're going to change the 5, the 2, and the 10 to 10. So I ran a room because I decided to write too big. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to go like this. Line over 10 plus plus. All right. Now, Jamarian, just keep in mind I'm going to direct towards you because you asked the question. You have to ask yourself, how in the world did I get 5 to 10? How did I get 2 to 10? How did I get 1 to 10? And whatever you did, you're going to multiply the numerator by that. So Jamarian, what did you multiply 5 by to get to 10? Okay, so that means 2 goes on top here to multiply. London, what do you multiply 2 by to get to 10? So you multiply 2 by 5, which means you multiply 1 by 5. And then Antoine, what did you multiply 10 by to get to 10? 1. So you multiply 10 by 1, you multiply 1 by 1. And then Destiny, what's 1 times 2? Marquise, what's 1 times 5?
What?
1 times 5?
5?
Chastity, what's 1 times 1?
1.
And then Naraya, finish us off.
2 times, I mean 2 plus 5 and 5 plus 1 equals 8. You get 8.
So Jamarian, does that make sense? Is that a little bit clearer? All right, make sure you keep your notes open so you can look at it. Also, what's the last thing you got to do with this fraction, though? Because you're a 5th grader, so you're super smart. London? Sorry, what? No, not that. Antoine? And Destiny, what would you reduce by? Correct, 2, because that's their, this is when you got to use factors. 4. Jesse, can you see all right? What if I do it like that? I can still see. All right, any other questions? If not, I'll leave this on the board in case you want to look at it while you need help. I'm gonna grab the exit tickets. Put your notes to the side and raise your pencil above your head. When I say go, get going. Remember, at this time, if I hear any talking whatsoever between now and you leave the door, you get all 30 problems. So do not talk. As you can see on the board, one class already got all 30 problems. One class only got evens. Go. Remember, you got your book, your notes, then the top of your exit ticket, and all those fail to help you, raise your hand. For those who are online, now and for Mrs. Seelman's class, you may go. Make sure you work on your exit ticket.